Hello and welcome to Yes, You Are Brave. This is a podcast where we are going to set off on a journey together to find and build our brave, where we explore all the ways that you have been brave and all the ways that you can be brave again. Because even though we may have forgotten or we may have fallen out of practice, we're all brave. And I'm on a mission to prove it and help you believe that yes, you are brave. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Yes, You Are Brave. I'm Pawnee, I'm your host. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot that you show up every week. So let's talk brave, right? And you know me, I like to talk a lot about brave that is not necessarily your everyday, like your big, huge braves, right? I am more of a person that talks about more of the subtle, smaller braves and things like that. But sometimes they are both. Sometimes the big brave is also the small brave, or the small brave is also the big brave. And I want to talk a little bit about maybe a smaller, more subtle brave this time around. So today we are going to talk about being brave enough to give yourself a break. What do I mean by that, right? Now, we all know that most of us are our own worst critic, right? We are super hard on ourselves. We have super high expectations of ourselves, and we just push, and we have there's kind of this idea in our culture and in the world today that you just got to push really hard and you just got to make things happen and work so hard. And I think that there is a little bit of a downside to that. Not a little bit, a lot. So we end up with these super high expectations of ourselves. And honestly, no matter how hard we try to not compare ourselves to other people, it's super hard to do. It's super hard not to compare yourself with somebody else. And it's also really hard to, when you do find yourself comparing, we're always comparing our worst day to their best, right? So it's unfair in a million different ways. And we're usually also comparing where we're at now, just starting our journey, to somebody else's journey like 5-10 years down the road. So today we're going to be talking about, let's be brave enough to give ourselves a break and to show ourselves a little bit of compassion and to maybe take some of the expectation and the pressure off of ourselves. I was in a masterclass last week about overwhelm, and she talked about, part of the things leading up to overwhelm is these expectations that we are that we have about how things should go and how things should be. And she said a lot of those expectations, she had us actually write out all over the expectations that we feel, like the internal expectations, external expectations, just all the expectations that we're feeling. And she said, now how many of those are coming from you? Like they're an internal expectation. And she had us circle all of them, and most of them they were internal expectations. And she said something so profound. She said, if you're the one putting the pressure on yourself, you can also be the one to take that pressure off. And it was like this mind-blowing, I mean, it sounds so simple and it sounds so basic and it sounds like it should not have been such a like, oh my goodness moment. But it was like, holy cow. Like, you're right. If this is the pressure that I'm putting on myself, why can't I take it off myself? Right? Think about that for a minute. If the expectations that I'm failing to live up to are my own, and the pressure that I'm feeling is from myself to reach these expectations, maybe what I need to do then is just take a step back and realize that, hey, I don't have to be pressuring myself so much. I don't have to be putting so much pressure on myself. I can give myself a break. I want you to sit with that for just a moment. What would your life be like if you just took some of the pressure off? If you let it fall away? What could your life be like if you let that pressure fall away? If you stopped demanding so much of yourself if you stopped beating yourself up for all the things you weren't getting right, how could your life be different? What could you do without that pressure? What could you do? And if you've listened to me at all, that a lot of the things that I talk about are literally things that I feel like I really need to hear. This podcast is very much a big part of it is what Pawnee needs to hear and how Pawnee needs to act to be brave. But I told you from the beginning that this is a journey we're going on together, right? We're going on this journey together to become brave and to build our brave. And I think as we build our brave, we are able to then work into building the life that we want and living more fully and living more openly and living more fulfilled lives. But I think sometimes we push too hard. And when we push too hard, we run the risk of just pushing ourselves over and finding ourselves face down in the mud. Because we're not meant to be going all the time. We're not meant to be functioning under such massive pressure all the time. It is not healthy for us. Humans were not made that way. We are not machines. And so sometimes we need to hit the pause button and say, you know what? I don't need all this pressure, and I'm ready to stop putting so much on myself. Now I realize that that's easier said than done. So much easier said than done. But I want you to think about what's one thing that maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself to do right now. What is one thing that you feel so much pressure to do, and then when you think about it, the pressure is all coming from you. The pressure is all internal. It's your own expectations. It's your own push and drive to do something really awesome and amazing and great. But that pressure is starting to paralyze you. What's that one thing? Take a few minutes and write it down. Write down what is that one thing that I am pressuring myself so much to do that I am making it hard to actually make progress because I'm pushing too hard. Pushing too hard. I think sometimes we can find if we just stop and we take a minute and we step back a little bit, maybe we realize that door we've been pushing on, you're actually supposed to pull. And the reason that we can't get through, we can't just push our way through, is because the door doesn't open that way. When we step back and realize that, hey, that's not how I get through this door. It takes a tiny fraction of the effort sometimes to just pull the door open instead of trying to push so hard and not getting anywhere. Because no matter how hard we push, if we don't ever get anywhere, we get frustrated and we tend to give up because as humans, we just don't like to fail. And if we try something over and over and over again, sometimes it does not help. It doesn't help. We have to look at it a different way. And the way to be able to look at it a different way is a lot of times to step back and say, okay, what's actually going on here? Step back and gain some perspective so that you can see what's going on. And you can see, okay, you can find a more creative solution. So, yeah, let's be brave enough to give ourselves a break and to take a break when we need it. Okay? Breaks don't have to be long. They don't have to be complicated. But we do need breaks. As human beings, we need breaks from our work and from what we are doing. We just have to have a break every once in a while. And more often than not, when we take a small break, or we take a big break and we come back, guess what? Our mindset has shifted. We are well rested. We've had a break. We've had a chance to decompress, and we are able to then think of more creative and funner solutions. We're able to do more in less time because we have taken a break and we have set the pressure down and we have just enjoyed being human for a little bit. And then when we come back, we are more productive. Trust me, you do not have so much to do that you don't have time to take a little break. You have the time to take a break, and you deserve to give yourself a break. Maybe you're not hitting every single one of your goals right now. It's okay. Maybe you're not able to show up in that relationship like you expect yourself to be able to show up, but you're still showing up. Give yourself a break. Maybe that job, that dream job that you've been working for so hard is not materializing. Give yourself a break. Maybe you haven't built the 6-figure business like you wanted to in the time frame that you wanted. Give yourself a break. Keep showing up, yes, but give yourself a break. Because you are a 10, my dear, but you are only human, and humans need breaks. And you are brave enough to give yourself a break. You are brave enough. I promise. I hope you have a fantastical week, and I hope that you remember that you are wonderful and amazing and awesome, and that you can do anything, hard thing that you put your mind to. You may have to get help, but you can do anything. You are capable of learning it all and doing whatever you want to do. Not all the things all the time, but whatever thing you want to do at a time, you can do it. You are amazing. You are wonderful. You are awesome. Have a fantastical week. And remember that, yes, you are brave. Thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed what you've heard today, please leave a review down below and share this with anyone that you feel like could use a little more brave in their life. And if you'd like to follow more of my journey to be brave, you can follow me on social media and the link down below. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to be brave.